look dignified for when Josh takes the picture.
Did that be the screenshot?
It's gonna be great. It's always great because it's us at our most random.
Oh, okay, we're going. We're good. All
We're
right.
good.
Yeah, it's you, Jerry.
Welcome back, everybody, to BatYard's finest. We had us a small recess to celebrate a couple of birthdays, mine and Josh, and we're getting ready to celebrate Krispies in another few
Yeah.
weeks. But let's get right into the introductions. It's me, your current host for today, week, year. It's been a long 3 weeks. Work has been crazy. And then the next person is gonna be Matt.
What's up, guys? It's me, Matt from Gotham, and to my
I'm Josh from Metropolis. Glad to be here. Glad to have the show on the road. It's good to be back.
I'm feeling a little silly today. I've had a very crazy day. Today's been very interesting. I'm not going to go
But
through it again because that'll take up a lot of time.
not physically shitty, right? No, not physically ill.
No, it was a good day. It was just one of those crazy days.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
I want to, as usual, we open up BS, Batman, Superman, other pop culture news. I know personally I have a lot. So if somebody has something they wanted to open up with.
I have two things. So the one thing I wanted to mention that this whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, Johnny Depp won the case, and apparently they deleted all the scenes that Amber Heard was in as Mira in the second Aquaman, or they deleted them or whatever.
really.
So yeah, that's what the hearsay is, at least. And apparently before that they while they're filming, they basically scaled down her importance of her role anyway. So like she was like barely in the movie in the first place, and then this trial happened, and it sounds like they kind of basically erased her character. And there is a petition online to get Bruce Campbell. I think it has like a million fucking signatures to get Bruce Campbell to play Mira in Aquaman. It has a lot of signatures.
I can just see it. I can see it. There's like they use like
I'd
a weird
love it.
feminine. I can see like them doing an edit like where he's just a feminine style. Then he just turns his head. What's up, Aquaman? And just be like fucking goofy as fuck. Him in a red wig.
He'll put on that red wig and turn to Jason Momoa and say, "It's Morbin time."
Oh no!
Oh yeah, he says that.
You can't cross streams.
Yeah, apparently like at least thousands of people signed this, and like at first, like I've just been seeing it because like I've been I'm like following Bruce Campbell like fan pages and stuff online, and I was like, okay, this is just like in my circle, and then it seems like it branched out of that, and it's like actually like catching sail a little bit. So that's interesting. I mean, I don't know if I want to see Bruce Campbell as Mira, but I would love to see Bruce Campbell in anything. So I'm definitely down for that. The other thing I wanted to mention, apparently, this has been in talks for forever. Apparently, Warner Brothers is also discussing bringing Henry Cavill back in the main helm as Superman for the for
what
the
took him so long?
franchise. Well, they've been going back and forth. I mean, it's not like really official yet. I think if they're gonna do it, I think he might show up in the new what the fuck is it called? I want to say
Supergirl?
Shazam.
Black
No.
Adam.
Oh, Black Adam.
Black Adam. Yeah. So I think if he's gonna show up, he might show up in that, because I know The Rock was a big fan of Henry Cavill's Superman, and he was discussing like even prior to filming this movie that like he would love to see Henry Cavill Superman and Black Adam fight. So he seemed like he's a big pusher for Superman, and he has a lot of power and a lot of slack. Like he could make things happen. So it seems like if it's gonna happen, he would show up in Black Adam. I don't know what's gonna happen, but that's my theory. That
I would actually like to see that.
That would happen. Yeah, I don't know if you guys seen the trailer. I didn't even watch it. I just sent it to you guys.
I just watched the trailer not even 20 minutes ago. It's a very solid trailer. It's definitely like I'm excited for it. You see Hawkman, you see Dr. Fate, you see the Atom. Yeah, it's
cool.
You see a lot of big players, and I'm like, holy hell.
That's my theory, is that they're gonna show Superman in that movie. My fingers are crossed that we're gonna get Superman, but I know he's a big advocate for Henry Cavill's Superman. So if someone's gonna make it happen, it's definitely The Rock, So
I would love for The Rock to do that. I would like to see him share the screen with Henry Cavill and have them do a very epic fight.
Yeah, even if it's just like a short sequence or like opens up for an actual like Man of Steel 2 or Man of Tomorrow movie. Just make it Man of Tomorrow. Man of Steel is
Man of the Future.
Go past that. Yeah. So those were my two main things.
I remember throwing that like theory around when they started like throwing out like The Rock as like gonna be Black Adam. I remember like a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, we're gonna see this happen," and all that junk. So if this does happen, it'd be awesome. So if it'd be like if he doesn't make it in the movie, ends up being like a little start doing like the end credit scene thing. It should be just him walking out talking to him. Maybe see what happens.
I don't know.
Well, if not, we still got Supergirl that's supposed to come out.
I could give less.
I know, but I'm just saying that could be another. That's the other window that we have.
Well, it's not even Supergirl. She's showing up in the Flash. It's not her own movie.
Oh, I thought it was
in the Flash.
I thought they were talking about getting her own movie after they like dropped.
Maybe after that, but so far it's just the Flash that she's.
Okay.
I don't know. And Ezra Miller sucks. So who the fuck knows what they're gonna do? Maybe they'll recast him. Maybe he'll run so fast that he'll change into a different person. He'll change his face.
Oh my god! They get what's his name from the freaking CW.
Yeah, they should have got him.
Dustin. Yeah.
I would say this. Once he got like the two issues that happened just like last month, like they had just back to back. He should have just They should have started saying like we should rethink this a little bit more. I think we should rethink this and start trying to do like maybe
they gambled on the wrong actor. Like they keep anyone from the Justice League. Why would they keep him? Like keep fucking Henry Cavill. I've been saying that for fucking years.
I know. Ever since they dropped him, just like we should have kept him.
I don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things I don't like about his Superman. I think he could do a great Superman. I think it's just what was on paper and writing was the bad stuff. I don't think it was anything to do with him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's a very good Superman.
Yeah, I think he has the potential to be a great Superman, but it hasn't.
Yeah, and he's a really good actor. He's a really good actor. If you give him a decent script, he can roll with it. Mm-hmm. Like shoot,
he's been great in The Witcher.
He did. Yeah. We've seen him be a Witcher. We've seen him being actually like a kind of a super villain in that. Was it
Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible thing.
Yeah, he was good in that.
Yeah, and then he was Superman. He did decent being a good Superman. Actually, he did well, and they just needed to write him well. Like
they just need him to smile and not be fucking Batman.
And not CGI'd. For that too.
Not CGI mustache,
CGI a smile on him.
Yeah,
that'd be too big, Jerry.
I don't know. I would like to see him in Black Adam, but also I don't want it just to be another punch fest like it was in the end of Man of Steel. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. I want to see him, but I don't want it just to be a big punch out at the same time. I want him to use his wits. He has to use his wits a little bit more to defeat villains. I don't want it just punch. Invincible Man punches another Invincible Man, and then that's the whole fucking thing. I want wits to be used, some intelligence. But anyway,
I want to see him save people. Saving people.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did he save people?
Yes,
he did
that's
save
all
people.
not in the first movie of his.
Yeah, he killed more people than he saved.
Yeah.
I didn't say he saved a
Why do you
lot
think
of people. I said he
why do you
saved
think
some
Batman-
people.
Why do you think Batman had a hard on trying to kill him? He's like, I'm gonna kill you because you destroyed a whole fucking city.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's a whole other discussion.
I know.
We'll have to talk about these movies. We always talk about them, but we never actually
They're
have
forbidden
discussion
movies.
about 'em.
They're forbidden
They're just in the
movies.
background. They're always reoccurring. But all right, yeah.
It's like-
sorry.
It's like
Go
the
ahead.
forbidden. No, it's like the forbidden fruit. Like, you just
Yeah.
like you stare at it. You're like, we know we're not supposed to touch you. That's it. We're good.
Oh,
We
man.
try. I think we did what the first the original Justice League, I think, and that was
We
it.
might have. I think we
Probably.
did.
And that
I
was
don't
it.
know.
Like,
I'd be
who
up
wins the
to
Snyder
watch.
Cut?
I'd be up to watch and discuss these in the future.
like I said, the forbidden fruit. We
Yeah,
just stare at it.
definitely.
We don't touch them. Like, it's like that one
Yeah.
coworker
We're gonna
you don't
poke the
talk
beehive.
to.
This. Well, once we talk about these, it'll have to be an event. Like once something happens. Actually, I have an idea in my head, but I don't want to announce it now.
You got any news to
Oh,
share with the
God.
world, Matt?
I got two. One may be part of your could be part of what you have, Jerry. So like
I have a lot, so
I
there's a
know.
good
So
chance
I don't know.
that
I may be scooping
don't
from
have
your
it.
like news. So what's it called? Right now, I've been currently watching Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi
Obi
is actually
Kenobi.
Obi Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
His name is Ben.
Oh, Ben. I'm sorry. No,
His
what's
name's
it called?
Ben.
But
But don't
it's
call him Uncle Ben.
just Ben. But it's not a bad. It's actually a pretty good series that they put out. It's not horrible. It's this pace of it. It's not superly fast. It doesn't feel like a Western
Yeah.
style. It's like how you see like how Obi-Wan is like in like the original, like in the original a little bit, and how he was in like the sequels. How he was like more of like his own pacing. That's what they gave this show. They just said, "All right, we're figuring out how to make his pacing in the show work," and that's what happens. And the last episode that dropped last week, I haven't still seen the newest one that dropped today, but the latest one they just dropped went from let's go 10 miles per hour, everything's just getting crazy, like we're just sneaking around bullshit, to oh fuck, this is what's happening at the end right now. Like it just hit 100. So I still have to catch the newest episode that just dropped today and see if they continue the cranking the knob to 100 or dialing it down to a nice cruising 55 miles per hour zone. Have you guys seen it? I know, Jerry, you said you watched the first episode.
I've only watched the first episode, and I do enjoy it a lot. I think this is definitely going to be, until Ahsoka drops, this is going to be one of the better Star Wars TV shows that they put out. Well, that and Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, Mandalorian's great.
Mhm.
Boba Fett, I wish they did something different with Boba Fett, but that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
I started to watch Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I fell asleep, and then I woke up at episode 3, and of course the main character's fucking in it. That was a spoiler, and I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "Oh, there's that character."
You woke up at the
And then
100 miles per
and then I
hour.
fell asleep. So I fell asleep. I woke up when there's like an essential main character that like everyone wants to see, and then I fell back asleep. So I just spoiled the show for myself, and I have no idea what happened.
Hold on. So you're at the end of that episode, right?
I don't know. I saw fucking the
Was
guy.
it nighttime? Was it at night?
It was nighttime. There was
Okay,
a
yeah,
cake involved.
you No, all right. So you woke up at the 100 miles per hour moment.
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck?" I had no idea what happened. I literally didn't even make it like the first 5 minutes of the first episode, and I woke up to that. Oh,
Like I said,
So-
it's the pacing of the show is Obi-Wan Kenobi pacing. It's gonna be here and there speed. It's not gonna be fast. It's gonna be how Obi's gonna do it. Josh's like, yep,
He's gonna take it at a
yeah,
medium pace.
yeah,
Right, right. I think I just watched it too late. I was like already tired, so
yeah. You
um,
can't do that with this show. And with this show, you have to be at least 75% awake.
yeah.
Don't
I watched
fight.
it when I was 40% awake.
Yeah, you fell asleep, didn't
Did
you?
you finish it?
No, yeah, I finished it.
Okay.
Oh, good for you. I don't think I would have. I mean, I didn't. So
Okay. Then
I
my
mean marshmallows.
can you share?
are you Lucky Charms?
What is it? So my other news is me and Jerry's one of our favorite freaking animes is getting their season 3, Konosuba. And it's gonna continue onwards, and they released their newest volume of their manga, volume 13 in America now. Um so I'm kind of excited. I still need to read it. I'm hoping that this new season is gonna be freaking epic. Jerry, what do you think's gonna freaking happen? You think it's gonna be the same as it was prior? Of like, I don't know how many years it's on break. It's been on break for a while.
I think they're gonna switch it up. I think they're gonna keep it the same, but just alter it just a little bit.
Okay, because we're gonna hit a slow point. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna hit a real drag zone at some point, and I don't know how it's gonna work out in animation. I don't know if they're gonna like
Hmm.
because this show, like Josh, with this show, it's like, and they don't stay true to the actual writing material. They take the story and they just plop it, and they're like, all right, how do we make this more entertaining? Because we already did this already, and they basically make canon mixed with filler on top of it, so it just blends in. You think it all is the same shit.
Oh,
It's a,
that's cool. Okay.
actually it's a pretty good filler canon mixture, and it's I'm gonna say this, Josh. If we ever show you this fucking show,
Are you gonna start with episode 1?
actually, we have to do like 3 episodes for you. So it
There's a
has to
lot of
meet
crazy shit that
to
happens.
meet
I,
the whole
I just hope it's
cast.
not like in the middle of a fucking
No, 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 no,
like
no.
season
To
12,
no, no,
episode
no, no.
26.
There's only 2 seasons. There's only two
And a
seasons
movie.
right now in a movie, and for you to meet the original, the original, like freaking like squad, you had to watch episode 1 through 4. No, like yeah, I'll say 4 because 3 is like kind of like a little waypoint. Like it can go either way. So basically, the 1 to 3 or 4, and that's how it's gonna go. Basically, if you are a freaking movie,
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would count as like a whole movie. I don't know if that could
yeah,
be short.
it can be always. Like if it can
No.
be, and including at the same time we were they announced with the show Konosuba, they have like a side story. It's kind of like a prequel. Stop it, mister. It's a prequel to the story a little bit. And it's following one of the other main characters, Megamine, uh, through her early years, like getting up to the point where she meets the squad that we have in Konosuba. And it's actually probably gonna be insane because that character is just she's a wild card. That's all she is, and we don't know what's gonna happen with her because A, she's crazy. B, she likes explosives, and every 2 seconds she just has someone random that's like 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 over ecstatic about something that she just doesn't want to be. Like her face is like, "Can you shut the fuck up after you being excited over nothing?" Face. That she always has that around her. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I still have to read the manga. Like I think it's like a 5 volume series. I don't think it's that long.
Nice. I think it's
Wait.
kind of short. I think I saw it when I went to my bookstore.
I keep finding like 3 volumes pop up. I never get the first volume. It never is there. I kind of hate it. What, Josh?
I just have more news regarding the Bruce Campbell signature for replacing Amber Heard in Aquaman 2.
Okay.
Apparently, the petition has 4.5 million signatures for
Jesus
Bruce Campbell.
Christ.
Yo, we're gonna do Bruce Campbell as Mira.
Yeah, I mean,
A
he
lot
did-
of people want this.
Where?
did-
Send me the link.
did-
Send me
he
the
did
link.
send it-
Send me the link.
He did send all right, well, he did post a tweet about it too. Like he said, send me the script when he heard about it. So this is I just find that crazy because it like excelled past the Bruce Campbell fandom. It's like taking on its own entity.
Send me the link so I can put my name down. I need this to happen myself now.
Yeah. I found just
Put it
articles talking about it. I don't know where you could find the petition itself, but
All right.
yeah, I just wanted to add that before.
4.5 million people is a lot of names.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm done with my news. So, Jerry, you're good to go. Green light.
Okay. So coincidentally, some of the news I have relates to today's episode. So, Matt, I know me and Trendia told you about it, but during Sony's State of Play for their new set of games and a couple of other projects that they're releasing, they're going to remake Resident Evil 4, which is, one of their most popular games. And I'm really excited about it because it looks very dark, very creepy, very scary.
Well, it looks like they just put they just basically did what Xbox did with Gears of War 1 when they remastered it. They made it darker and gruesome and more gritty. And
that's what we need.
Yeah, but it was still clean. I liked it. It was nice, but I still haven't had the time to look up a trailer. I may do that
The
later.
trailer's really nice.
I've seen the
There's
small
a new
clips
one?
on Instagram. So
There's
it's
a
a
new one coming
remake.
out?
It's a
It's a
remake
remake.
of 4.
So
So it's gonna it might potentially be like The Village in terms of how they do it, but I hope they do it more in the style of 7, because to me 7 was very scary and very nasty. In a good way, not nasty bad, but nasty good.
The things it has its skeleton already. So it already has a skeleton. You just have to work on top of that skeleton. So if they fuck up, there's a problem. If they can't follow a
And it's
blueprint, that's
easy for
already
that to happen.
pre-existing. I know it is, but it's still they haven't done wrong with the new one, the recent remakes with 2 and 3.
True.
They've been
what
doing
else?
this. They've been doing this a lot, Josh, with the remaking.
Okay.
It's actually
they
a lot
just-
better with the remaking because in the prior games you can't run and shoot. You always have to stop and aim and make sure you get the right kill and then move on. And if you see a guy behind you and you're in the middle of shooting an enemy, they can just jump on you at any moment. So now you can actually avoid everything and just keep shooting things or knifing. So actually, I prefer it a lot better.
I don't want to get
Lot of
into my
improvement.
thoughts of Resident Evil or Silent Hill because that will tie into what we watched. But just to let you know, I know very little about either. About either
let's
thing.
just-
Josh, you're gonna love this next bit. So apparently, there's also going to be another new Silent Hill movie made.
I wanted the damn game.
I mean, oh yay!
Is it a reboot or is it a new addition to it?
So I didn't look too much into it because the last one we got was Revelations 10 years ago, and I redboxed that movie, and thank God, because I really think I would have sent a death threat to the person who made that, because that movie was not worth the time of day.
Yeah, I kind of
just
looked at
wasn't.
it. I kind of wanted to rent it to see what was up with it because it looks like they brought back the original cast. And I don't know 100%, but it looked like it from the way I saw. And I was like, oh, maybe it's promising. Maybe it's not.
But if they do green light it, I'm going in with my standards basically under the dirt. It could have one good scene, and I'd say, "Oh, this is better than both of them," and I'd be
Wait,
impressed.
wait, what about? Oh, wait, that's it. That's that Revelations in 3D. Never mind.
Jesus. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh yeah, so I also went out and I got this new comic that I just walked in my local comic book store and I said, "What's something new that just had a first issue come out that's pretty interesting?" And he recommended me this. It's a title from DC, so I'm very curious to see what it's about and how things goes. He didn't say a lick about it. He just said, "You're probably gonna like this," because I told him what my interests were, and he was like, "I got something for you."
What is it?
Let's see what else.
What is it about? Have you read it yet?
I haven't read it yet. I just picked it up on Monday.
Oh, I see. Okay. Matt
I
got
have
me a
another
bunch of
big
cool
piece of
comics.
Oh, he did. What did
Oh
you?
yeah. Let me grab them.
Okay.
Oh God, what else?
Well, I don't have one. I have these two. So since we're talking about comic books, I wanted to showcase these anyway. Matt got me Batman from the 50s, which a bunch of different stuff. There was one page that I really loved, and I'm probably not going to find it right now, but it was a fucking bat ape. There was bat ape, and I was like, I need to read this one. The picture was so terrible that it was amazing. Wonder Woman in the 50s. That'll be
nice.
fun. Yeah, ooh la la. That'll be good. And Superman in the 50s, which that one's in my car. So I don't have it with me.
you just remind me what the other one is. So also when I was buying my new comic, I don't know how new the series is or how many issues are out, but apparently Batman has a new series called Beyond Flashpoint. I've used the term
Thomas Wayne. Thomas Wayne.
I
Batman?
didn't look anything else into it. I was just looking at it like, because I thought I was like, oh, that's a weird cover art for Flashpoint, but I just kind of just glanced over it, and then when I went back to look at it again, because I was checking for some old Doctor Strange comics, but they were out of the one that I was kind of looking for, and I saw it again. I saw Beyond. I'm like, wait a minute. But then somebody came and picked it up before I had a chance to thumb through it. So if anybody here has Batman Beyond Flashpoint or knows any more details of it, please comment below.
So it's Batman Beyond, like Terry McGinnis in Flashpoint universe?
I don't think it's Terry McGinnis. I just think it's another thing to do with the Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Because it did look like Thomas Wayne, but
yeah, that would
couldn't
make
really
sense
tell
if it was Thomas Wayne. It's probably like more stories of if I was gonna guess, it's probably just like more stories of Thomas Wayne before like the instances of like the Flash coming to the universe and changing everything kind of thing. Because I read one comic about Flashpoint, but it was like the backstory of like Superman, like how he landed in Metropolis instead of landing in Smallville, and he fucking eradicates like half the city by landing there, and then they take him as like a alien specimen in the like a military government like zone, like almost like Area 51, and they just do all these fucked up experiments on him, and he's like as skinny as like a gray alien basically, and they kill Crypto. It's so fucked. I was like, oh no,
Jesus.
What?
why did you kill Crypto? Yeah, he's
Don't
like a
kill the
skeleton.
dog.
Yeah, they killed him. They killed Crypto. It's like the U.S. government just like putting, all these experiments on the Kryptonian beings. And I guess Crypto was like one of the first things they found, and they killed him. And so that's how dark that backstory is.
Okay. Getting off of that, I'm gonna jump back to that Silent Hill thing and state that it's going to be coming out next year, early of next year. Um, the original director of the first movie that we are going to be talking about, um, he's coming back to direct this movie, and he says he wants to see the franchise evolve, and he's picking up more of like a nowadays setting with this franchise because he was discussing how he states that Silent Hill is a bit like Twilight Zone. It's like it's like all this other stuff he says. I'm not getting into it far, but he wants to go over to he wants to imagine it as a nowadays setting than a 2006 setting because we're too far forward now to go like slightly like kind of slightly back to that storyline we had. So technically, it's gonna be like a reboot, but not a reboot.
So a continuation?
A continuation in a way, but it's like it's a reboot in a way, and it's sort
It's
of like getting you somewhere else into a different timeline.
hmm.
So he's stating that, and he doesn't talk about the second movie because he doesn't care. It looks like about it, or he wasn't attached to it.
I don't
But
think he was attached to it because I know the
so
second movie had a lot of stuff go on behind it. Well, I say a lot, but it was one very major thing that happened behind the scenes.
So like he says in this article that's posted actually was updated and posted today that he's currently working on it. He said the third Silent Hill movie, the script for the new Silent Hill movie that is totally in it's important for so to the previous movies made in a respects way to evolve it. So it's actually independent. It's independent from the actual first two movies. But
That's
in
going to
the
be interesting to see.
but it's he's still claiming it as a third movie of Silent Hill. So I don't know if he's gonna just keep it in the saga, not in the series, in the trilogy way. But I don't know. You know, how some people like weasel in movies that like are totally separate, but they like, oh, it's part of the trilogy though.
That definitely seems like what he's doing with this.
Yeah.
Like I said, my expectations for this third one are so low because the second one was just god awful.
Hey,
I don't.
I'm still
Who's
waiting
the
for the
director?
freaking.
Do you know who the director is
What
of
was it?
this new
Christopher
one
Yes.
coming out?
Gaines. Gaines.
Christopher Gaines.
Yeah, Christopher Gaines because he
Yeah,
did the
Christopher
first
Gaines.
one.
Yeah. Okay. That's why it sounds familiar. I was like, that sounds. I mean, at
But
least he seems like he gives a shit about the franchise. You know, like
yeah,
the.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that'll go into
it's Silent.
um
The
the
Silent
movie
Hill has been
that we're
pretty
gonna talk about.
dead. Well, we get announced like they're making another game, but they had another game that they killed off when the PlayStation
hmm
4 first came out, like basically was it coming out. And I
yeah.
was looking
But there
forward
hasn't
for that
been a
game.
Silent Hill game in years.
Yeah. So like he's looks like he's like taken upon this opportunity of like, oh, a new game's gonna be coming out. Let's try getting this new movie at the same time, basically, or around the same times. But yeah, I remember that one game. I remember it was that the original house that Jesse and Connor and Everett all lived at, and it was like that one Halloween party, and I believe that was a year when the Mets won the World Series.
Versus the Cubs.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the Met. No, was it the Cubs won? The Cubs won. My bad.
Oh, so the year after. Okay.
So
It was the Astros.
it was the Astros. Someone whatever. Fuck. Someone. I remember it was at this Halloween party. It was the big World Series was happening at the same time, and it was a fucking big deal. What?
Star Command won that year.
Okay. And we're all playing that fucking game, and we're just like, what the fuck is this game doing to
Oh,
us?
that PT game?
Yeah, that was Silent Hill.
Oh, yeah, that sure was
That was
Silent
Silent
Hill.
Hill. And then people found out what it was actually is, and they just pulled the fucking plug. They pulled the fucking plug on it.
Yeah,
And
why was that never made?
because I think after people found out it was Silent Hill, and then they were all trying to dig into it more, they just said that, like, just dropped it. I think there's a bigger reason, but I was just kept on here. Once people found out it's actually Silent Hill, they just trashed it. But if you have a PlayStation 4 right now, actually, that has that copy, you're golden. You have to sell. You can like get that for a lot of money.
Make some money.
But the fucked up thing is, the PlayStation's like loophole is that you have to you can't play certain downloads unless you use the account that is tied to it.
Oh, that's dumb.
So you technically have to sell your account as well to your freaking.
Stupid.
Yeah, so you have to sell your account as well as with your PlayStation 4, but in that way. So technically, yes and no. What people are making money, but they're losing in the same. Because they lose a bunch of games that they purchase, they can bring over anywhere else. That account.
What if you just copy the game and put it on a thumb drive?
I'll say I never tried that, but good luck. And I don't know if PlayStation will try to read the code off of that to see if it picks up like your username.
What if you just make a new one?
You could.
The game? Yes, you can.
But that's all the news I had. Definitely the two big ones were, coincidentally, I didn't plan for this episode to relate to the news that I found. It was just very coincidental.
Oh, don't forget, they're having another Resident Evil series on Netflix coming soon.
We don't care about that one right now.
Oh, fuck you. I remember you made a big deal.
Before we get into the movies, Doctor Strange, I seen it.
Oh, finally.
Oh, you saw it?
I saw it. I saw it last week. When did I see it? I don't know. I saw it last week. I saw it with cousin Tony. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I love the Evil Dead references, the camera angles, the shots. That was all my favorite stuff, was all the Evil Dead shit. I think it was a little too long. I think it was a little long. But I liked it. I enjoyed it all around. Just to give you a quick synopsis of my thoughts, because I don't want to go too in depth. But I give it a 7 out of 10. All the Sam Raimi stuff was the best stuff. And then once I think Doctor Strange, the character himself as a leading man, isn't the strongest character. I almost like him as a side guy, side man, like he was in Spider-Man. What was it called? Spider-Man Home. The third one?
Home. Yeah, no one.
Home.
Spider-Man Home Alone.
Home Alone, yeah. Spider-Man Home Alone. I like him in that. I like him as a side character, not really much as a main character. And his chemistry with his girlfriend, whatever the fuck her name was, they have like no chemistry. So I didn't really care if they ended up together or not. I didn't really care about that. But the eyeball shit, when he fucking ripped the eye out and it came out like just like Evil Dead, it was fucking awesome.
Oh my god, there's a lot of.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Like style.
Yeah,
I'm glad you actually got to see it.
Stuff. Yeah, I did end up seeing it.
Did you stay to the end credit scene?
Yeah, that was great. Bruce Campbell at the end was great. I'm glad Bruce Campbell is in it. I want him to have a bigger part in something, but I'm glad he was in it at all. He definitely was one of the highlights for sure. Yeah, that was great.
All right. If
I
nobody
got
has anything else,
it
Matt
popped
has
back.
one.
It popped up just now. Speaking about movies. Uh, right now we're getting the release of the new Jurassic World movie. At the same time,
Uh,
tomorrow night, I know. Tomorrow night they're releasing a double feature of the original Jurassic Park and the release of the new Jurassic World movie at the same. So you have to do a double feature. You're paying about between $20 to $25 at the
Where?
Regal,
Regal?
Regal.
What if you just go for the original and you leave
That
before
was
the
my
new one
thoughts because
plays?
I just
that's
want
what
to
I
see.
said.
That's what I want to do. Well, I don't want to pay
Ah,
$25 almost for this
well,
movie.
I mean, to be fair, to be honest, I am gonna see this new Jurassic Park. I'm not gonna like it. It's gonna be dog shit, but I am gonna see
For
it.
fans, we have to do it. So
I am gonna see it.
I'm
We have to
seeing it.
see it to know if Chris Pratt kisses a dinosaur.
Yeah, if they have a baby dinosaur, a human hybrid, they already made a clone person, so they're gonna have half dinosaur man.
We don't know. We haven't seen her get
We
mad.
need
Maybe
to
she gets
know.
mad. She turns into a monster. Maybe she's the villain. Actually, she unlocks her
She
abilities.
she already is the
Oh,
villain. She fucking released all the fucking dinosaurs on the
I know.
continent of
I
North
know. I know.
America.
I know. Um, but
We're talking
yeah,
about the clone little girl. If you don't
I'll let you know of my
understand,
verdict on Saturday because Chris, and my grandmother are going to go see it in the IMAX, and the
why
only
is your
reason why I'm seeing
grandma
it
going? Why
because
would
she
your
wants to see it.
grandma
She
want to
wants
see
to
that?
see it. She
Your
wants to
grandma
see
wants
it.
to see that?
She wants to fucking see it.
Are you
So
sure you're telling her it's the right movie? Does you think she's
I was invited after they bought the original tickets and they added me to the freaking seating. So I was
Your
added to
grandma's
this.
pretty gangster.
So
Did you tell her it was like some other movie and you're just
no,
like,
I
yo,
wasn't
just go
part of
to
this at all. I didn't even know this is happening. I just knew. I was like, out of nowhere, Chris just comes up to me and says, "Hi, you want to go see Jurassic Park in at the IMAX?" And I'm like, "Sure. What day?" And he told me, and he bought me my tickets. I think they're my birthday gifts, so I'm just gonna go see this movie.
All right. Yeah, well, let me
So,
know. I probably won't see it this weekend. I will see it for fairly soon. I don't know when, but I don't know.
I
uh,
might catch it for half price Tuesday. I haven't decided
that,
yet.
that's a good idea.
That's
That's a good
probably the
idea.
way to do it.
I
That's the
got mine
way.
for free. That's what I'm doing.
If I don't see
Yeah.
it half price Tuesday, I might go the weekend. I'm undecided yet.
Got it.
Jerry and I are gonna see it together. I'm gonna fly to Tennessee just to see the movie and leave.
And then I'm gonna show him that my Regals down here have a loaded fucking bar. 9 beers on tap. It's the full experience.
Where are you going, Matt? Why are you all upset? what happened to you?
I keep bragging to Matt about how
Because you're like, I'm gonna go to Tennessee by myself and see Jerry, and like, no invite, no plans. Don't try to
You're
get me
already
to go
going to
down.
see the movie. Why would I invite you?
I want to hang out with Jerry
I'm telling
You
you.
guys already saw it. You guys already saw each other. I wasn't there.
That
I
doesn't
gotta
mean
have.
shit.
Yeah, it does. I need my. It's your time up there. It's our time down
Oh,
here.
I had to go to the fucking city to go see him. That is one place I do not want to be. And
That's a good
at
place
one
to
place
go.
I want
like
to check out where he lives.
I like
can't
visiting the
go.
city. I like visiting. I haven't been there since 2019, but that's okay.
Well, if there's no other news, I'm ready to
Yeah, we're done.
segue us
Yeah,
on into the short
Let's go.
Resident Evil Infinite Darkness episode 4. It doesn't have a title, so we're just gonna call it the final battle? Question mark.
Final brain cell.
The final countdown.
And I think I'm gonna give the reins to the synopsis over to Matt for this one.
Okay. So with this episode 4 of this Resident Evil series, it's so out of the ordinary. It's so weird because like there's like 3 more episodes before this.
Yeah,
But
I
Yeah,
it's
was
but this
very
one was
basically
my
confused.
favorite.
so basically this is the wrap up on basically the Leon little series they gave him. It's about 30 minutes long episode. So basically, they took a 2 hour long movie and they chopped it up in 4 pieces. That's how I like to explain it. But this episode is the final episode of the movie, of this series that basically takes you to the climax of Leon is trying to save Claire Redfield from basically, well, yeah, he's trying to save the world from actually getting exposed to more T virus zombie combination science project shit that's happening, and he ends up stumbling upon Claire and this gentleman that is named Jason that's been affected since this war from like a year or two prior of this event that's happening now, and finds out you have to take certain dosages to keep your T virus infection to a bare minimum of showing or spreading. And in the midst of all this stuff is happening, shoot, the president is trying to make a speech, and I believe that he's trying to make men's or make a partnership with a different country. And this one gentleman from the government, I forget his name for some reason. He's just not important to me. He is trying to more. He's trying to bombard it with other stuff with this his own science projects and make it worse and make a bigger world disaster.
I think his name's
And
Wilson.
that's it. Sort of a W. I was not trying to just go down the whole thing. I was gonna say Washington. It's gonna make it even worse. So in the midst of it, it follows the same suit of every single and makes it follows down the same recipe of all Resident Evil games. The main character has to defeat the big bad boss and defeat him with blowing him up or dropping him more into a more hazardous way of killing them, more like this in this era, this movie in this show, we dropped him into a vat of freaking acid and where he was just slowly dissolved to a point to where he's just barely nothing, and then they kill him off. Um, that's basically it. I can't go anywhere else at the end.
Yeah. He
um,
You
Terminator
forgot what
2 himself.
yeah, no, wait,
you forgot where he turned the Asian woman into Kool-Aid.
That's
no.
true.
I don't want to say that because
Strawberry.
I was not happy with that. I was hoping she was gonna be alive. That was just bullshit.
Why you do a crush on her?
No, I was actually wondering where they
Yeah,
would
you
go with that
did.
character. No, no, they like to keep characters. They like to add characters at these like the main character. Resident Evil games, they follow these weird recipes where they end up gathering a side character and they bring them along on the story quest, and then once they get to the end and they finally beat the big bad or get to their where they have to be like the end process of the mission, and that
Kill him.
person ends no, all no, and they end up dragging him along sometimes to another adventure. Unless you're in what was it? I think it's the worst timing for him is definitely for his Resident Evil 6 where they kill Chris Redfield's sidekick throughout the freaking game. You only had one option just to really murder him. So you couldn't try to say like you had no other options other than kill this guy. That's been like the Chris Redfield's like crutch throughout that game. Um,
Yep.
technically that character Chris Redfield should have died during that game, but no. But back to this is not Chris. This is Leon that we're going off of. I'm actually pretty shocked because this came out when like a year ago,
A
maybe what?
year
Yeah, a
ago.
year ago, and a lot of people were like, "What is it?" Some people state like it's supposed to go like a weird sequence. Like we got Chris, we go Leon, go back to Chris, we get the Leon, go back to Chris, and then go back. We had the bundling group. Then we are supposed to get Leon, but we never got Leon. We end up getting uh the Ethan character now, but we technically got our Leon game in a way because we got this series drop. And Leon doesn't really do that much talking, and he did a decent amount of talking and interaction in this game in this series that we had.
So, Josh, what are your first impressions on this?
Oh no, I thought I was gonna get the synopsis. To be honest,
I was so happy I got this one. I was so happy.
I was gonna explain that some doomsday character was trying to break into a lab and steal some secret formula, and then he kills himself. That's how, that's how I was gonna explain it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I started at episode 4. I didn't see the other one, so I didn't really know the characters. I didn't know what was going on. But I thought
I knew that was where this is gonna go.
I like the animation. You know, like I was looking at it, and like obviously it's like kind of like anime inspired. You know, just like with the animation itself, like the 3D animation. I was looking at it. I was like thinking. I was like, huh, why does this animation work? And then those like creepy Robert Zemeckis movies are just like Uncanny Valley. You know. And like I think it's just because they're a little bit more stylized. They almost look like, you know, they're like anime characters at that point. But they look like they're like straight out of the video games. And the cutscenes, I mean, not the cutscenes, the whole thing.
It is a giant cutscene movie.
It looked pretty good. Yeah, I didn't know the characters. I liked when the Monster Man died. The main guy who was shooting at the monster at the Doomsday character, and he sets off the rafter or whatever it was into the vat of acid. It was a little too convenient that he caught himself on cables and he was like hanging there one-handed. He didn't even look like
tradition.
He wasn't even like straining at all. So I thought that was kind of dumb. The Asian girl, yeah, and then I was thinking like, why doesn't this monster Doomsday thing like kill him at that point? He had him in his clutches, he had him in his throat. Why didn't he just crush his fucking head? He killed the girl who was like, basically saying like confessing her love for him, and she's like, being all nice, and he just fucking crushes her head, and like this guy's just being an asshole and just shooting him, and he's like, no, I'm gonna let you live. Even though I know you're going to fucking try to kill me after, but no, you're okay. But the girl who confesses her love to me, nope, you're the one who fucking dies. But this fucking douchebag who fucking is shooting at me, you can live. Oh, wait. Oh, you dropped the rafter right under my feet right after? Oh, I didn't expect that to happen. Like, I thought that was fucking dumb. But other than that, I thought the animation was cool. But I thought the motivation of the characters was kind of ridiculous.
Okay. Like I said, it's Resident Evil. You can't.
It has a formula,
yeah,
and they have yet to ever deviate from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
let me fill in.
Evil, so.
Oh my God.
I'll fill in some of the context here. So the guy shooting the guns and the rockets, that's Leon. He's from Resident Evil 2, 4, and 6. He was, I guess you could say he's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've probably seen like pictures and stuff with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he's a pretty popular character.
Have you ever seen the cover of 4? Have you seen the cover of Resident Evil 4 ever?
Probably. I don't know.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead, Jared.
I'll just pretend I did.
The girl in the red jacket is Claire, and she's from Resident Evil 2 and Code Veronica.
Is she like a main character, like a playable character, that Claire girl, or no?
2 she is.
And 2 and Code Veronica she is, because those are her 2 games. Her and Leon have history because of things that happened in Resident Evil 2 and so on, and other things involving her brother Chris Redfield.
Yeah.
And the Wilson character, he was just for the show only.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very end, the case that had the Tricell logo and, company name, that's from Resident Evil 5. because they're another pharmaceutical company basically making bioorganic weapons. And a lot of things were just show only, but those three things are the most important, because I have a few friends who enjoyed the show for what it was as a standalone and not for what it's supposed to represent in the series. And they were saying that, oh, maybe if it gets picked up for a season 2, because it still hasn't been renewed, they were saying, oh, maybe in season 2 we'll see more of how Tricell played a role in this, and maybe potentially see some past Resident Evil characters make a resurgence.
I've learned, if you haven't got a resurgence within like 6 months of like your airtime of your series, you're not gonna get really a second season in Netflix world. Usually Netflix drops at least news of something within like a month, between a month and 6 months of its release of the series, saying that we are
That's
good.
true.
If it does good, they will do that. And
Well, they're losing a lot of money. They're losing like a bunch of stock recently.
yeah,
Like, Netflix is not in a good spot.
no,
So
it's
like
not.
they're dropping more shows, I noticed. And like
But
they
the
don't
thing is,
allow they don't allow a lot of shows to like actually grow and produce an audience. You know, it's like after one season they're like, "Oh, well, this didn't succeed. Let's drop it." Even though like if it kept going, it would have built an audience. Like what was that? What was that one fucking Jim Henson puppet show that they had?
I don't
Dark
know.
Crystal.
Oh yes,
It was
Dark.
like yeah,
Yeah, Dark
that was
Crystal.
actually fucking pretty cool, and they got rid of that like instantly. I'm like, what the hell? It had like Mark Hamill in it and like all these
Mm-hmm.
grade 8
Yeah,
actors.
I caught a few episodes of that.
It's actually
Yeah, it
pretty
was
fucking
good.
awesome. It's
Yeah, it was
really
pretty good.
great for puppetry, and
Oh
it
yeah,
was like based
100%.
off of
It was like
it was based off the movie that came out like the late
the 80s.
80s.
Like the
Yeah.
80s.
I heard it's better than the movie. I only seen parts of the movie, but I heard the main
Yeah, I've
character
just seen
in the movie is
very
awful.
limited clips of that movie.
Yeah. Maybe someday we'll watch it.
So, Matt, what do you think about episode 4?
I don't. How do I think like I don't know this. I like it, but I feel like they could have went in a different direction of the monster design. It feels like they just didn't know what they do, so they just made a generic style like here's your monster stuff like that we would assume people would enjoy, and instead of going all out. We had like what we had decent monsters throughout this freaking series of Resident Evil, but I just feel like this one's probably my least favorite of the group, including I actually enjoyed Jason's character, and I wasn't hoping for him to turn out to be the monster. I was hoping that they would try to keep him alive and like actually try to keep him going and see if they can reverse him and get him back to normal again. Other than they need to know, and then he just turns into the fucking hulking monster and destruction that he ends up becoming. And I this to me this series was like I'm not a big Leon fan in general, so it didn't like strike me in that way of like
Are you a
I
Chris Redfield fan?
yes, actually.
You boulder punching asshole.
The man punched a boulder. And it continues to be a joke to this day and even the games, okay? But yeah, it's just that like I never like I wasn't a super big fan of Leon anyway, so I had like low expectations for this movie, like this series, and like in general. But I had my friend Rihanna; she was hyping me up for it more than I should have been. And I was watching it; they had a lot of good moments in the series. Like I was hoping you would do the submarine one, actually. Like I think that was episode 2,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's when they're. It's more of a thriller because he's stuck in a this submarine under freaking millions of like thousands of miles down in the water in the ocean, and out of nowhere this plague of rats are trying to fucking kill them, and he's just trying to avoid it. And the way of like they do this rat thing is like they bury into you and they pop out of you, and then they multiply even well. And there was just billions of these rats just flooding this submarine, and he's just trying to escape this fucking submarine. This whole time that was supposed to get him to his next objective in his mission he was on, and I was just like, what the fuck?
I do agree with what you said before about them, about you wanting to keep Jason alive. I feel like Jason could have been uh, definitely somebody who could have been a very prominent villain given more episodes and maybe another
Yeah,
season.
like if you gave him more of like, I don't want him to be a villain, but yeah, if he would like continue on with the villain style thing, he can go on, or we could say this is canon to our Resident Evil like storyline now, so he can possibly jump into the franchise of the games and be a thing
Hmm.
inside the games. He can be a side storyline game, or they bring him in and they do a Leon storyline again. They can bring him in there. And they could have went either way, but I think they missed out on the opportunity by freaking shooting their freaking load off pretty quick with Jason. Jason could have been a possibility thing. They should have had
Definitely.
they should have had like him trying to morph out and Leon saves him by getting one of the dosages. But meanwhile, another science fucking project that came out does its thing. What is Big Booty Dandy saying to me?
She's agreeing about Jason's potential being squandered because that's something else I was going to get into. For like their first animated show, you could definitely see they were just testing the water and getting their feet very wet through a lot of mistakes in just how they developed the story. But even through their mistakes, they did give some very interesting points outside of what's the usual norm of Resident Evil.
Hmm.
Instead of, okay, we have virus, it got turned loose mysteriously or in an unexpected accident. Here it is, a person of considerable power introducing this super soldier virus into living people and keeping them under a heel to do his bidding so that they number one can still maintain their humanity and continue being functioning living organisms. And also you can see how when Jason at the end he was like, I've been dead for years, there's no point in saving me.
Yeah,
And
true.
he accepted what was his grim fate, as you do with the other members of the military team who went through the same process. And I do like how they introduced that, and I hope that whenever they do another side game or another new game, they try doing something of that route,
Hmm.
because I feel like, yeah, a big pharmaceutical company. Everybody knows pharmaceutical companies are always going to do something in, bioorganic weaponry, engineering, modifications, the works. So why not have it set to, it might be kind of, cliche, like, oh, here's multi-billion-dollar man with several connections trying to make profit out of war. Marshmallow. I do. I think that's something that was a breath of fresh air. Definitely to me, revisiting this for a second time, that made me enjoy this a tad bit more than my first viewing of it.
Hmm.
And if they do a second season, I hope that they listen to the feedback of people and kind of see like, yeah, we did drop the ball here and we could have done better there. One thing that definitely pissed me off was the chemistry that Leon and Claire had. They just flipped it on its head. And I just was like, this, I don't like this at all. This isn't what Leon and Claire had in 2, albeit this is Leon at around the age of Resident Evil 4, so he's not going to be the same young rookie cop he was when Claire first met him.
Mhm.
But she would still definitely understand his reasonings, for not wanting to give up the chip and wanting to handle things his own way, because he saw how, Ada Wong was working for the feds to try to get the G virus in Resident Evil 2. So then it was like, oh, G virus, let's go spread chaos and disaster again.
Yeah, Big Booty Danny's actually making some points here. I wasn't even thinking about. I haven't played Thing is, like Resident Evil 4 with me has been on and off battle. I played it years ago, but I came back to replaying it on the PlayStation 4 release of it. But
Wait,
wasn't
so
thinking about it.
let's read her
Yeah.
comments. So I think he definitely made Leon think about what side he was on, because normally it's Leon being sent off to deal with the bad guys, when in reality the bad guys are his employers. Really makes you think about what Krauser, is that his name?
Krauser.
Said in Krauser, Resident Evil 4. I know nothing about Resident Evil, so that's why I've been pretty quiet for this discussion. So
No, he does no. Big Boo Danny does make a point there. Krauser does make a point now. Make more of a bigger point now. But let's see if maybe we get down the road, if we do get another season, or they make another series that's just called something else that's more of a continuation, like they kind of do sometimes. They maybe bring in maybe some kind of more hints from Resident Evil 4. He's basically called Leon a lapdog. Yeah, I know. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what Leon. That's technically what Leon is nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, yeah, I don't know. I never got into Leon's character. Basically, I just never could get into it.
Yeah, you boulder punching asshole.
Hey. Okay, I'm sorry that I don't follow the hair flip back guy. He has to have the emo cut all the time.
100 fucking feet and didn't shatter his legs. I think
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
more impressive than punching a boulder.
Oh,
and he held on to a metal cable that
did
was
you?
just
Okay,
suspended
did
in the
your
air.
man fight punch a boulder, then fight a motherfucker in a volcano JoJo style, motherfucker? JoJo style.
Leon
no idea
is
what
the
the fuck
closest we're gonna get to Sanji, Crispy.
I don't care about
Leon
Sanji
is
either.
Sanji,
I don't
Black
care.
Leg.
I have no.
Yes, you do care.
Big booty
Learn to
Danny.
care.
I'm not gonna care about that man. He gets a nosebleed at every sight of a titty.
What's wrong with that?
He almost died. Big Booty Danny. What is your opinion? Are you a boulder puncher, or are you the emo cut lapdog
She's
fan?
team leg day. She's team leg day.
Who's team leg day?
Because Leon never skips leg day.
Bitch, please. Look at him.
Look at his boulder punching. It is great, but Leon is a mass murderer.
Leon is a mass murderer. He went on a spree in Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, you never knew who was an actual real zombie in that game, or an actual villager that just lived there. That was
They weren't even zombies.
No.
They were people infected with parasites.
Yeah.
That's what was made that so crazy. Like, oh yeah, we're just infected with a mind-altering parasite.
Yeah.
But just to get back on topic, I definitely watching this again. There is, I'm not going to say charm, because Resident Evil is always going to have, a certain aesthetic and charm that keeps you interested in it. But rewatching definitely this episode, because out of the 4, this one was my favorite because of how thought-provoking everything was, with how Jason was saying, I'm already dead. I'm beyond the point of redemption. With how Wilson played, the typical James Bond villain. Like, you can do what I say, or I can force you to do what I say. And even at the end with the hero and the heroine, you know, meeting back up at the end to try to save the day, but one of them switches sides and is starting to follow more of their own set of moral ethics instead of what they've been trained to know through, all of the training and experience that their background is giving them.
Yeah, I got one other issue with it. I think they didn't use Claire enough.
They did underutilize
They
Claire.
didn't use Claire. They didn't use Claire enough in this series. And this is like the most we get to see of Claire, and she's more vulnerable at the most of this episode because she just gets duct taped to a fucking chair and just sits there and she just sits there. And it's like, okay, this is probably the longest screen time we have of you. And yeah, you're gonna almost die. But Claire is more of like, you see her in the game, you get like a bunch of her like a bunch of stuff in the second game. I didn't play with Code Rionica. I know, and when you play Leon's story, she pops in at least
I think
5 to 8,
3 or 4 times.
at least 5 times.
It's a
at least.
lot.
Yeah, she and she doesn't like disappear. Like she doesn't say, "Oh, hey Leon," and then run away, or like, "Oh, Leon, here's an item." And it's not like that. She actually like helps you and like broadens the story. So like this is just like they kind of did some broadening story moments with her in the series, but like it was just too short of a moment. It wasn't long enough, or like this series should have went from 4 to 6 or maybe 8 episodes. It was too short to be.
I think 8 episodes would have definitely given more flavor to Claire.
Yeah.
And also maybe, expand a little bit more in the universe that they're trying to build.
Mm-hmm. But like it's like
I agree with you on that.
But like I said, like in the beginning, this should have been just a movie. It should have been a 2-hour-long movie, and that's it. They didn't need to do this like episode thing they did. It's kind of pointless because it didn't make any branching. So if it was a movie, it would have been understanding that what the direction they went was like right for the picking for her. If it was like a series, it would have been. They should have thought, oh, she actually is a real thing. She does really good journalism. She gets down in the gritty of this shit, and we need to see more of that. Other than, oh, we go back to a house and she has this like, what's it called in this early episode, Josh? She goes back to her like apartment or apartment she has board of like everything that's going on and like her strings and everything going around and stuff. And that's basically it. You only get to see that for like about maybe three minutes, maybe not even like that long, and then it goes to the next thing is Leon. So if they did like at least in that 8 episode series, we would have had a lot more time with her, and everyone would be like, all right, this shit's getting real, and we're understanding more back tone to it, other than just constantly epic moments of Leon just fighting things and slowly processing, oh, things are bad. I am doing bad things for the wrong people. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Is there anything you want to add, Josh? I know you. I didn't know you weren't big into Resident Evil. I thought you might play a game or two.
I played one of them, but it like feels like it had nothing to do with like any of the other games. It was the one before the boob lady. What was that one?
They always have a boob lady.
Oh, you played 7.
Yeah, it was the one where it seemed like it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's the one I played.
Come here, boy.
It seemed like it was like very disconnected from the rest of the franchise, and that's like literally the only one I played. And I haven't even. I probably got like halfway through the game, and then it got too fucking hard, and I was like, okay, fuck this, I'm not playing this anymore.
Is it harder than the monkey game?
Oh, that's a truck.
I love.
I still have to do. I still have to do a video of that. Yeah. So there's this, I don't know. Well, there's this game you play as like this monkey, this ancestor monkey thing. Just to do a quick whatever, and just explain what the fuck we're talking about. You play as an ancestor monkey, and like you feel like an idiot because you don't know the controls. They don't tell you anything. You feel like a stupid ape, like the character in the game. So my idea was to do a stream or something where I'm just constantly drinking and getting drunk while I'm talking to you two and
This is
being pissed
hazardous.
off
I'm not gonna
about
lie,
being
it's
a game.
hazardous if you're drinking.
Oh, I have to be drinking.
That
I
could
think
go
that'll be
so
good.
far left.
I think that'll be pretty fun. Well, I think it'll be funny. I don't know if it'll be fun for me, but that we'll do that at some point. I'll have to talk to Matt and see how we can do that.
You just you just have to sign into the Twitch account. That's all you gotta do on your PlayStation.
Oh, really?
That's it.
All right.
You just
You
have to set it
tell
up.
me. Show me how to do that later. Tell me later when
Okay.
we're on.
We'll
on
help you set up.
PlayStation.
Yep.
Okay. Alright, that'll be interesting.
What is it called? We have a few things. Big Booty Dandy
Res
say that
7 was like a reboot for the franchise.
it was a
That's
reboot.
what it felt like.
It was.
It
was
felt
a
like
reboot.
it had nothing to do with any of the other games.
It
what I kinda
wasn't.
felt.
Big Booty Dandy, to answer your new question, yes, that is the game where if you die, you have to start all over again.
Wait, what?
Which one? Oh, the monkey game. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like
It's so stupid.
Isn't it technically like Ark in a way?
No.
No, because in Ark, at least you can fucking make yourself punch a dinosaur better.
Yeah, you can't do anything in this monkey game. You kill your whole tribe.
That's fucked up.
No.
I don't like this game. Murder the tribe. Just go.
I like the concept of it. I'll get into it more when we actually do the live stream. I don't.
We'll save it for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you guys are ready, I think we should go ahead and get into the final thoughts and reviews for episode 4.
Oh, yeah. I thought we already
Untitled.
did that. I'm sorry.
No.
That's all right.
I'm just gonna give this a 5, maybe a 6. I'll give it a 6 because I like the animation. I like everything it looked like. I think if I just watch the other episodes, I'll give it a higher rating. But right now, I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
As just like a season, like just an episode, I'll do the same thing with Josh. I'll give it a 6, just for that. Like like they could have went more with the series. They could have had more potential and all that stuff with the story. I just feel like they just wrapped it up pretty quick at the end. And this our big bad. We got this. We're gonna give him big bad a couple here and there good lines to throw at you, and like to get you thinking, and like maybe and like they set you up at the end with the briefcase and stuff. But I like Josh said, I like the animation and all that junk and all that. But I'm gonna go with like a 6.
I'm just laughing at Big Booty Dandy's
6.5 as
6.5
Leon's
for Leon's ass.
No, we're not gonna do that, Big Booty Dandy.
No.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
This is also gonna
Big
be
Booty in her name.
This is gonna be another clean sweep. I'm also gonna give this a solid 6. It made me want more. It did make me. I enjoyed it, but it made me want so much more.
I thought
no,
it's here.
Don't get me wrong. I watched the. I think I watched the series once, and I've watched this episode twice now. And it's if you've played, a couple of Resident Evil games and you do understand what's going on, you're just sitting there like, okay, but where's the so much more potential you can go with this? We've seen you do so many other things, and here you are with a fresh idea. Why are you just limiting yourself? I agree with what Matt said. If this would have been a 2-hour movie and then, here we gave you a 2-hour movie, now here's the season based on what happened in the movie, I think that would be fantastic. It would definitely boost this for me from a 6 to definitely a 7, maybe a 7.5, depending on the length and what they incorporate. But it's like, this was just it wasn't lacking in the respect of what you could do with the universe. It was lacking in you basically teased me for 2 hours and you didn't give me anything big to really end on outside of the hero and the heroine are now parting ways, and there's maybe a chance they will never see each other again.
No, they're gonna see each other. They always do somehow.
They're gonna end up together.
No.
I hope they do.
Same here, but it's not gonna be a thing. It's gonna be stupid. It's not gonna be a thing. And like, season 2 does happen. They gotta bring Boulder Boxer. No, yeah, but Boulder Box and Chris Redfield into the mix.
No, we're not bringing
just for
fucking
one
Chris in
episode.
there.
One
No.
episode.
No,
Just
we're
one
not bringing
episode.
him
He
in.
walks on by and just says, "Ha," and just walks on by. I'm not thinking a real thing. He just like
No,
doesn't have to be a
We
thing.
don't want him.
And then that's it. No, everybody. Oh,
No.
nobody wants him, huh? He's been in all the fucking franchise games. All the fucking.
No, he hasn't. And the
Oh.
only reason he was in 7 is because they couldn't afford Leon.
Bitch, please.
Chris went from being on steroids to deflating like a freaking balloon.
Chris's model has been up and down, left and right, battling the struggle of steroids, and then just being a beefcake at the end of the village for no reason. But he's been working. He's been in every single game of the main franchise.
He's been in the odd numbers, except for 6, but we don't talk about 6.
We love
No,
Boulder
we
Chris.
No, we don't. Anyway, that was Resident Evil episode Untitled 4. And now this is the one I have been most curious to hear what you guys have to say about it. We will be discussing the 2006, not the 2012 Resident Evil, Silent Hill movie. And Josh, I want you to actually take the synopsis for this one.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you took this.
I'd rather talk about the Doomsday character. Let me think. Okay, before I get into this, when you suggested this last episode, I was thinking of The Hills Have Eyes. That's why I was like, oh yeah, I never seen that movie. I want to see that. And then I was like, oh wait, this is not that at all. So I was thinking of like the original Hills Have Eyes. I think it's whatever from the 70s or 80s. I don't know. Anyway,
I think 70s.
Yeah, 70s.
Silent Hill is about a woman who has this adopted child who's trying to kill herself because she is from Silent Hill and she really wants to go back to Silent Hill where she came from, and she's trying to jump off a cliff. And the mom's trying to figure out what the origin is about Silent Hill. Or like, oh, what's all this stuff about Silent Hill? Let me take you to the town and we'll figure it out. And then on their way to the town, she fucking crashes and she loses her daughter. And then the town becomes a total hellhole with these demonic creatures and these demons and all this other decaying imagery, basically. And the town seems like it's ever evolving. It's always changing into some other realm or some other place in degree. And it's just her trying to pursue her daughter. She ends up meeting a cop who's basically tailing her, I guess. And then they're both trying to find the daughter. So that's the movie. Then they end up hijinks ensues, and they jump into different scenarios and situations, and things happen.
Perfect synopsis, Josh. I'm gonna give that 10 points.
Okay, thank you.
Before we continue onward,
the policewoman is my wife.
I agree.
What?
I agree.
The policewoman was smoking.
I agree with you, Big Booty Dandy. Chris in a turtleneck is what inspires me in the gym daily. I won't 100% back you, but I'm proud of you stating that.
No, Big Booty Dandy, recant that statement. Strike that from the record.
No, we're not striking that from the record. We're keeping it.
Strike that from the record.
I don't know.
We're keeping it.
So before we get too far into the discussion, I was actually watching somebody do a Silent Hill playthrough of like the very first one. I was like, man, I haven't watched Silent Hill in a long time. And nor have I played a game since I think 2000 and maybe 5. So I was like, you know what? I want to revisit Silent Hill.
Wait, go. What did you just say? You haven't.
Silent Hill.
What? No. What did you say? The year?
2005.
What did you say?
2005.
I heard you say 2085, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Jerry's from the fucking future, man. Future.
Are you from the future?
He's Jerry from the future.
I can't tell you things about the future. It's part of the time traveler's law.
Yeah, that's how time zones work, I guess. Jerry's in fucking 2085. All right, go on. Sorry.
But
No.
Definitely the first time I watched this movie, a lot of things about it just freaked me out, intrigued me, and just made me absolutely terrified to be alone in the dark. Because the movie, one thing that I really loved about the movie is how it just always kept shifting the tone. Like, all right, in one instance, you're in the regular town with Sean Bean. And the next instance, you're in, I'm going to call it purgatory, where everybody else was. And then after, when you heard the tornado siren, you went to hell. And it kept shifting at what was key points, so you got the full flow of the story. Although I guess some points could have been cut out because 2 hours was a little bit much. But I still enjoyed a lot of it. And definitely how they use like the ground and just everything just kind of peeling off like ashes.
I loved it.
To just shift like scenery. And once there's like it shifts from the purgatory to hell, like everything changes. It'll be really rusty. It'll be just dark and just disgusting. And things will start coming to life and moving that have no business being alive. And I just, that was one thing that just drew me into the movie so much, outside of the big titty policewoman.
I'm so happy you said something about purgatory, about this, like this realm is purgatory. That's how I felt when I was watching this movie. I'm like, this is a purgatory land. This world's not this village is now, this Silent Hill is now dead. Nobody, you can go there, you can physically go there unless there's a purpose that this purgatory zone wants you for, and it takes you in. And because Sean Bean was running around like areas, like certain area, he was running like able to go certain spots of Silent Hill and not be affected by the warping. But like once you're in it, you're in it. But like the thing is, like you saying like certain spot, like when the sirens were going off, like you go into hell, like that's like when they did that, the freaking whenever that like stuff got crazier, the Pyramid Head came out and he went like searching for you and hunting you, and I would assume he's like the warden, and he's bringing all the people back, and they're into hell. Like, you're all right, we gave you the freedom of like walking around, but time to go back to your shitty lifestyles in this place. Go enjoy. If you don't go, I'm gonna murder you. Actually, this is my first time watching this. Actually,
really,
I've never seen Silent Hill. I've always seen parts of it. I've always seen clips. I always see the Pyramid Head. The most things I kept on seeing is always the nurses. That spot with the nurses when they start shaking each other and all that crap. I've always seen that. And I always keep talking, like everyone keeps talking about the camera angles that they were used in like Silent Hill in the beginning with and certain spots from the outside, like the camera swoops around and does the angling. And everyone's like, oh, those are like really great. I actually enjoy those. I'm like, actually seeing them happen in the movie, I was like, they are actually decent shots. Them doing like the swooping in and like capturing everything they have to capture and all that stuff. And I was actually amazed by it. But the thing is, the storyline, like, but when the police officer states, It's like it's a mining village that caught up and went up in flames, and it's never gonna stop burning. It kind of reminds me of this certain. I forget where it's located. I want to say in Pennsylvania. So not. It's definitely not Pennsylvania, but it's a mining. It's a mining village. It's itself that the mines caught fire and it's endless fire underneath the village, and it's an actual thing, and you can't put it out. It's constantly burning. The whatever left, like whatever built up coal that's there. And like I'm like, oh, is that kind of like built into this? Because that's pretty like an old story. I think it's at least I think from like the 80s or late 80s or 90s. I think it started. I remember like this is like a place, and that's actually a thing in real life. And I'm like, that's kind of intriguing that this is like kind of like added up to that. But yeah, I think this is actually I actually kind of enjoy this whole freaking experience of this movie, but like it kind of throws you through loops and stuff. Josh, what do you think about it?
I like the visuals. I thought let me get into what I like. What did
Okay.
I like? I like the
Go ahead.
visuals. I like the creatures designs. I liked the practical effects. I liked when the creatures were real and actually there, like that guy who had his feet like tied over his head. That was cool. The main actress seemed like she was pretty much carrying the whole movie. She was doing a really good job. She definitely felt like she was fearful and she was like actually taking the punches throughout the whole movie trying to, and I liked how also that the movie you don't really know what's going on until like later on in the movie you're kind of picking up the pieces with the character itself. I thought that was good. Yeah, that's the stuff I liked.
What would you change about the movie?
I don't know. I don't know if I could really change because okay, it's another scenario like with Resident Evil. I don't know anything about Silent Hill, so like going into this, I feel like I would get more out of it if I was a Silent Hill fan. I think being like a video game adaptation movie, it's probably like one of the better ones that we have out there. I noticed the only things I noticed that were from the game was the music. I like the music sounded very familiar, and I think it's like directly from the video game itself, which was pretty cool. Sean Bean just seemed like he was just shoehorned into the movie. Like he didn't really need to be there. It was just like, whatever to cut
He's just
back
a
to him. It
concerned
was just kind
husband.
of like, yeah, I was like, I
Yeah.
don't care about you. And I heard that that they shot those scenes basically after the fact because the studio was like, there's no male characters in this movie. And then they shot the Sean Bean stuff, and it really feels like that. They just shoehorned those scenes in the movie. What would I change? I don't know if I could really change anything because I don't know anything about Silent Hill. I don't know. I feel like that's a whole project in itself. I would have to like actually play the games and study them before I answer that.
I know for me, I would definitely reduce the time instead of 2
Yeah,
hours to maybe an hour and 40.
I agree. Yeah,
Some
an
of the
hour
scenes,
40 or hour 30. Yeah.
some of the scenes I did enjoy. I felt, even though I enjoyed it, I was like, okay, I could kind of do without it. It's not very pertinent to the story or giving me any more pieces of information. I would also cut out Sean Bean.
Yeah.
I really liked how all of the women who were in this movie basically carried everything, all the way from the concerned mother whose daughter is sleepwalking, having night terrors, basically on the, I guess you could say, brink of insanity back in 2006 before, mental health took its major overhaul on how people took it seriously, to the concerned policewoman who was doing her job and very well at that because she's heard, a little child crying, mommy, mommy. She thought like, oh, has this little girl been kidnapped? Like what's going on? She was doing, like a routine wellness check. And even to the cult leader who incited all of these people to commit, the atrocities of, burning people alive. That was, I would not recast a singular person everybody in here did an amazing job, especially the child actress for the dark scenes when she played the.
Yes, I liked her in the dark
I guess you
scenes.
could call her the devil, quote unquote, because she used the Alyssa, the child who was being persecuted. She basically made a deal with her to unleash what she wanted back at the people who had been hurting her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the scene in particular was when she the mom confused her for her daughter, and she was like, "Look, I'm on fire," and it's just like, oh, that's like I've
Not
seen this
okay.
movie probably about 6 or 7 times, and like that still gets me because I'm like, how is a child like still that fine with the idea of like having flames come that close
Because
to
it's
you?
not a child. It's not a child.
Safe.
And then even at the end when she gets her revenge on everyone and the cult leader's being strung up on the barbed wire and she's just
Oh
ripped
God.
in twain and she's just dancing in a rain of blood. I'm like, this is that child is.
I liked her when she did the dark side. When she did dark side stuff, I enjoyed her acting. When she was just standing like in the beginning, I'm like, this kid's gonna annoy me. Because they gave
Yeah,
Yeah,
her
but
I
see,
feel like
that's
that too.
they made her use that more of like an innocent little voice than to her ages. Like I felt like she was supposed to be portraying a younger her more, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna have a shitty actress for a kid. And I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with this. I'm not gonna. And it's 2006, and they were not that good of kid actors at that time. And then
and look at
once
what we got.
and then once we went to Dark Zone, and Dark Zone her is just like, let's light everything on fire and have fun with this and just go creepy and evil. And she said some lines that I wasn't expecting her to properly like give a dark tone to. She actually did well with it, and I was like, all right. You gave me you're oppressive. You're oppressing me right now. Good job.
That was
Yeah,
I
that child.
liked how well she did the contrast between annoying kid to ruthless entity.
She knew
That
how to
was
flick that switch. That
that
was
was especially in 2006.
Yeah, the kid
That
actors were
was
not that good.
just like even like rewatching it now. I'm like, God, that's still so. It's such a it's such a skill, especially for a young child. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Josh. What were you gonna say?
Oh, the only thing I was gonna say about the child actress is that she's in an episode of Smallville that I instantly recognized her. I
Yes.
was like, oh, that girl's in Smallville. She's in one episode where she plays Lana's like childhood friend who died, and like she starts to haunt her in like that episode. So like I guess she's like really attuned to being like that creepy kid in pieces of
Okay.
media. And I think that episode came out 3 years before this came out, so she was like kind of like primed up for being a creepy kid. Um,
Now I
it was
will
a good,
say this.
good episode.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josh.
No, I was just gonna say it was a decent episode. It was a good
How
episode.
does
That's when
I
Smallville.
do remember that episode. That
I just
was
want to
good.
know how
Yeah,
does Superman fight a ghost?
You don't.
I
Okay.
can't tell you.
All right.
Watch the fucking
I
show.
was I was I was just gonna piggyback off what Josh said because I pulled up all the female leads. They were in a lot of really good stuff. Because the child actress, she was in Smallville, she was in Stargate SG-1, she was in Supernatural a few times as far as
Really?
TV shows,
That makes sense.
and then
Yeah.
movies, she was in Twilight. We don't have to talk about Twilight. She was in Cabin in the Woods. We're not talking about Cabin in the Woods either. But I was
Oh,
surprised
I
to learn
actually
she was
like
in
that movie.
It's
Cabin
all
in
right.
the Woods.
I've
Is that
I've
the
watched
one where
it too many times.
it's like they parody? It's like the parody one,
Yeah.
right? Like okay, yeah. I seen it once. I thought it was decent. Anyway, sorry.
But what surprised me the most, she is the voice of the little sisters in BioShock 2.
Oh, fuck. Those things are
That
creepy.
makes
They're
sense.
creepy.
She has that
So I was
voice.
like, oh, this is
Oh,
like she's got a very good range.
she's not the sisters, the little sisters from the first one, either.
It's just the second one.
There's a second one.
Just the
Oh,
second one.
okay.
And then I'm just gonna go down the line just to quickly give all of these phenomenal actresses their credit. The cult leader, she was in Star Trek.
First one.
What is it? First Contact back in
Okay.
'96. I thought that's where I recognized her from because I have an aunt that's a huge Star Trek fan, and I was like, "Oh, she's from Star Trek. That's dope." The mother, I don't think she was in anything particularly big outside of this, and maybe a couple of other things in Canada. Oh, she was a voice of somebody in Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Was she?
And
Oh, I never
then
watched
the
it.
She was the Republic.
and then the policewoman is in The Boys.
What?
Is she the
She's in The Boys.
superhero?
She's
Did
the
you say?
Countess.
The what?
She's
I don't
the
know what that
Countess.
I think that's one of the superheroes in that show. I don't. I still need to watch it, but I'm thinking like any beat, like a main.
And she
like-
was in the X-Files. And the X-Files. Crimson Countess.
Cool. That's why I was good.
I haven't seen that
Good
show in
stuff.
forever. That used to be my early morning before school show.
Yep. But I just I wanted to give all of those phenomenal actresses and actors their credit where credit is due, especially Sean Bean for the fact that he didn't die in a movie for once.
No, they gave him worse. He lost his
true.
wife. He lost his child. He had a heartbreak.
Yeah. I thought it
That's
was in the
worse than
contract he
death.
had to die in every movie he was in.
Except
But
for
he
that
didn't
one
die.
space movie he
Like
was in.
you can always adopt another kid. He'll be all right. He can put his love in a puppy.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
made it.
Sean Bean did good with what he had, but I'm just saying those scenes just felt unnecessary. I
They
just
were
like
very
Yeah.
empty.
I like the world that they were in. The effects felt very outdated. The computer effects, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not good.
Yeah, those computer effects were dated.
They were really bad. I was impressed with the effects even though they were bad, when they're behind a fence. I was like, oh, there's no the fence is still in front of the CGI. That's impressive. That's hard to do.
One thing I
yeah,
didn't know
that
about
looked
this,
pretty bad.
it is a mostly Canadian film because a lot of the
really?
people who acted in it are Canadian. So kudos to Canada for giving us something outside of Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
I don't like Ryan Reynolds. I don't like him. I find him fucking irritating, but that's a whole other discussion.
But I just wanted to get back into a couple of other scenes that I really enjoyed a lot. Definitely, this one was more toward the end when the entity that possessed Alessa, did that merge with the mother, and she stormed the church telling these people, you've let this woman talk you committing all these atrocities, and now you want to cling to her coattails and deny what you've done. You've sent yourselves to hell, and you need to deal with it and be at peace, quote unquote, because when they die, you say, let me be at peace. You all need to be at peace and accept it. Especially when, the lady stabs her and, the blood starts pooling out, but really it's just what Alyssa needed to finally get the revenge she needed. I really wanted her to tell all of them to go to hell. Would have just set everything off perfectly. And then a favorite transition for me that they only did once involving Pyramid Head was how he just kind of materialized behind a woman throwing the rock at the homeless mother.
The one that's ripping, he rips the skin off of her?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I like that because it was like, okay, he just went from nothing to something, And I was like, especially after the scene where we first see Pyramid Head, I'm like, oh, that's cool. We got to see Pyramid Head. I didn't think they were gonna have him, rip someone's skin off and throw it.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
I like the part when he's manifesting and he looks like a more of a demon first, then he becomes what he was. Like he's like getting his will structure. Like he's just like there is like a demonic presence of him before he takes true form. And actually, I wasn't expecting that at all.
And another really cool effect effect. Oh Lord, I can hear my English teacher yelling at me now. Another very, very dope effect that I liked was when the policewoman meets that, like when you first see her in Silent Hill and she's got the mother in handcuffs, and I'm gonna just call it a shaker because that's all it was doing. It was just shaking the whole time and just moving before it just started, vomiting that black blood, boiling whatever, like everywhere, and you could see things were starting to dematerialize. And as you see it do it, you can see the, like the specks of whatever the entity's presence does to things just kind of consume it. Like everything that was non-organic to the hellscape was basically like, all right, beam me up, Scotty, we're out of here. Those were some effects and transitions that I enjoyed a lot personally.
Yeah, I think once the movie got really gruesome and showed like the effects and all that stuff, I think that's where it really shined. I don't know. A lot of the movie too, like I guess it does put you in that character space, like you're in purgatory, like Matt was saying. So that was interesting. I don't know, like the film itself, it's not really for me. I'm not really a silent film fan, or like silent film. I don't really know a lot about Silent Hill, and I thought we were gonna watch The Hills Have Eyes, so that's what I was expecting. But no, I think it was just good as its own video game adaptation. But I don't know. I don't think this movie is really my motif. But
to a point, this is probably out of the two franchises that actually Jerry chose. They both have movie franchises that we can see here. Silent Hill probably, like with this movie, they did better than what Resident Evil did. Because
yeah,
Resident
this seems
Evil,
more authentic.
this one feels like it's actually tied properly to the game, and then
Yeah.
Resident Evil is just like we're just doing things and adding here and there
Yeah.
information and characters.
Was it Kate
Yeah,
Beckinsale's in it?
Yep.
In a
Yes.
latex unitard? I guess that's the selling point.
So
I mean, she does fill out that unitard pretty well.
She does. That's
Well,
about it.
in the older movies, she filled it out pretty well.
Are they still making more?
No, they've been
No.
done for a while. They put the final chapter in. They did that. They dropped that.
Finally.
That was like so long ago. But no, I want to say, yeah. Other than that,
wait, Kate Beckinsale is in Underworld.
Oh,
then what's Resident Evil then?
Fuck, what's your name now?
Povich. No.
We're failing.
I know it.
Keep back.
I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the other one.
Filling. I was gonna say
Mila Jovovich.
Jovovich. Mari Povich.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. She's they both have like similar features. They're both brunette. They both
one's more thicker.
They wear nothing. What?
Nothing.
I mean, yeah, that's up to you. But yeah, okay. Yeah, these look like shit too. Okay, go ahead.
Because they aren't good movies. They aren't good movies. But I'm gonna go. I pretty much did enjoy the same effects that Jerry was stating, including I enjoyed those little bugs. Like when they got trapped in that when you first meet I enjoy them because they're kind of weird. And when you looked at one of them, they actually had a fucking face. And it was like, what the fuck? What the hell
Was it
are
a
these
face
things?
like a bug in Hell's Paradise, Crispy?
I haven't got. Oh, yes. No, that's the butterfly. I got there. Yeah, I got there. I forgot the butterfly had a fucking face.
But that was creepy.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that until I rewatched it. And I was like, that thing has a face. That's just
And
that's nasty looking.
I was looking up
Because
the
you're putting it
budget.
on a cockroach. You're putting
Yeah.
a human face on a cockroach.
Yes.
If they would have had those things fly, I think I would have been screaming the entire time.
Well, they
So
should have.
okay, so I looked up the budget for this movie. As we keep saying, like the effects weren't. It was like the
50
digital
million.
effects were. And what? Yeah, it's
The
50
budget for
million.
this
They
movie was
made
50.6, and they doubled it.
yeah, they doubled it. And then then I looked up what's the highest budgeted movie for that year, and it was Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Actually, no,
What
Dead
was that
Man's Chest.
budget? What was the
Uh,
budget for that?
80?
I don't.
No, that was probably
it's
a
not-
100? Probably at least 100.
That's
Yeah,
actually
they had
not.
a lot of
It
stuff.
wasn't stating it, so. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, let's pull this up.
But then I looked up that before that I ended up looking up the what's it called? That town I was telling you about. It was $225 million, the budget.
For Dead Man's
for
Chest?
Dead Man's
Chest?
Chest.
Jesus
Yeah, that makes
Christ.
I could believe it.
Yeah, so
That one,
it's a
that
Disney
one
movie.
wasn't that good.
It was
That
it was
one was
definitely a
alright.
fall off. It was a decent
The only one that was good was the first one.
It's the
That's
first,
the
yeah,
only
definitely the
good
first
one.
one's the best, but the second one was at least you saw where it was going, and that was it.
Yeah.
But-
it didn't trail too far from
No,
where the first one
Yeah.
was trying to build
no.
up to.
I just love well, we're falling off pattern here, but I love the Davy Jones character. I just loved his octopus style shit they were going with him.
Yeah.
But anywho, what's it called? So I looked up the town that I was telling you. Centerella. I think that's how I'm pronouncing it probably wrong. It's a burning ghost town in Pennsylvania, United States. It's been burning over 50 years, so in the 80s, it was started
Still
for.
on fire?
It's still on fire to this day
God.
because it was a fire in the mines of the coal mines. So all the coal deposit that's down there is constantly burning, and they
Can
can't
we
put it
go?
out.
Can we go?
No, it's like how they stated in the movie that you can't actually live there because of the toxic
No, I
fumes
don't
of
want
the
to
smoke.
fucking live there.
I know, I
wanna-
know. I'm just stating. I'm just stating. It's like that. So if you do end up going there, I think you have to take like the precautions of getting like a gas mask or some kind of like flotation mask.
It's
to
some
actually
Probably
go
have to
there.
get a respirator.
Yeah,
I
so
would
you have
get
to
like
actually-
an industrial grade
there's
respirator.
an actual.
Burning
There
for
is an
50
island.
years.
There's actually an island.
We
think
should film it.
there's actually an
We gotta
island
go
that
and
has.
document this.
But there's an actual
Jeez.
island that has that setup thing. It's like it's weird. It's really the air is like super toxic and polluted by this like smoky material that's there. And they got the people with the evac from the island, but the residents there actually went back because they liked the island so much. They liked the set. They liked the island setup, so they decided to buy gas masks and then continue living there on their daily day with gas masks on.
Where is this?
I had to look it up again.
What ocean?
What ocean?
Is it in
what?
the Atlantic in somewhere?
Yeah, is it south of here, like a tropical island, or? Because that's the
It's
only
in
way I would go.
Japan.
That's the only way.
It's in Japan.
Huh.
It's in Japan. It's due
That's-
to like a volcanic. It's a volcanic. The fumes and everything that's coming from it. It's called that. It's very bad for the island, but it's a base is a. Yeah, it's a poisonous sulfuric. Fuck. Speech impediment.
Sulfuric.
Sulfuric gas that is not good for people, and people are wearing gas masks. Like, here's a photo of one
Jesus
of them.
Christ.
Here's people at a wedding. There.
That in itself looks like a horror movie.
Here, I don't know if that's more recent photo. Here's them going for a swim.
And this is
what
just-
year is that?
What?
When is that? When's that picture taken?
I don't know. Like these look like they
looks
had to
like-
be from the 50s.
Yeah, older.
Yeah, I was gonna say those look like the 50s, especially from how those swimsuits are kind of designed.
Yeah, like it's been like a thing. Was it so it's the lava flow in 1940 that killed 11 people and occurred in what's it occurring in the 1960s and 1985, 1983. So this is like a current thing. The rest is allowed to return. So they've been kicked off this island in 2000, and they went back after 5 years.
Wow.
They went back to that island. It's literally this is the overview of the island. So like it's technically I would say like there's at least 2 places in real world that kind of represents what this place is supposed to be like. It's supposed to be condemned, poisonous, and technically not existence. If you think about it, these people actually drove into because they stayed in the store that this town is a mining town that they caught fire and the toxic fumes are bad and you will die from it if you're not wearing proper masks. And I would say these people actually fucking died and are stuck in this purgatory that me and Jerry both stated is a thing. And so they're probably due to this like air pollution that they can't properly inhale. They died and they're using that. There's actually 2 places just like it in real life. That's actually a good representation of it.
Are we going?
No.
We could go to the Pennsylvania one. That's
we can
close.
go to the
Let's go there.
Pennsylvania one. Okay.
Let's go there. Let's document it. Let's make a documentary about it. We're doing it.
All right. Anybody know how much a gas mask costs?
It's
Yeah,
too
how
high.
much does gas cost?
Gas by my house is fucking $5. Don't get me started.
Yeah, it's
Same.
basically $5 here. We're pretty close.
And they took the taxes
Thanks
off
a
in
lot,
my county.
Putin.
Did they take the taxes off for you guys in your counties, in your areas? Is
Taxes?
Probably.
Yeah, the taxes off gas.
What tax? What you got taxes off gas?
Yeah, in my county,
I'm paying sales and county tax on gas. Fuck
yeah,
you.
they was going over $5. They took taxes off twice. They took taxes off twice, and the gas companies are just putting it back at $5. They were dropped to like $4, and they went up in like a week to $5.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that so
let's
much.
go
back to the movie.
Let's go back to the Middle East and get gas.
Oh god.
All right. Should we do final thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say I don't have too much more outside of what I want to say for my final thoughts and review.
You
want to go first this time, Matt?
Yeah, sure. Why not? My final thoughts is I really enjoyed this movie. I am gonna try to take the risk of actually watching the second one, even though Jerry said 4 more.
Please.
I'm gonna take the risk. I'm taking the risk. I'm gonna take a risk.
Crispy.
I'll take a risk.
Don't. I'm telling you, you are going to say I should have listened to you. This was an atrocity before God Himself.
I'm taking a risk. I'm gonna take my risk. And I want to see where they would have taken this after what just currently happened. Does somehow the mother and daughter get out of purgatory, where the fuck it is, in a way, because it looks like it's a continuation from this movie. I like the music that they did in the movie, and like Josh said, it does sound like it's from the game. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I liked some of the digital effects they did in it. It's 2006. They had a lower budget and natural higher end movies that were coming out there in that year. We like Pirates of the Caribbean, so they worked with what they had to work with. And the situation that Jerry was saying, it sounds like it was coming out of like more of a smaller studio than technically it should have came out of, like a smaller studio branch of a studio of the higher end studio. Um, and including I enjoyed all the characters that they kind of gave us in the movie. I kind of am pissed off at the end with the woman cop. I did not like how they just
Yeah.
did her dirty with that because I was hoping they'd do that heroic moment and be like, "Don't you do that!" and like fucking stop everything. She's about to get burned, and like she gets stopped a few inches before she's about to get burned, and they pull her back and all that crap. I was hoping for that, but they end up murdering her, and I'm like, "This is bullshit." And it kind
That's
of,
part of the allure
I
of
know it
Silent
was just
Hill.
bullshit.
I expected her to die. I kind of like.
Yeah, well, they beat her up and all that junk, yeah, but still, I was like hoping there was gonna be a saving grace moment. But either though, I really enjoyed I really enjoyed this movie. But I'm not gonna be like it was overly great because it's like it's still based off a video game. They tried their best doing it. Um, I would like to stay. I'm gonna go with a. I'm gonna give it like a 6.5 at least. I see. I'm gonna go with 6.5. I was hoping at the end of the movie they kind of did Mad World for no reason at the end because it's like a weird piano faint noise, and I'm just like, what if they didn't do that? They just did like the little Mad World intro, and they just went to the Mad World song instead. I kind of wanted to go with that. But yeah, I think I'll go for this one with like a 6.5.
How do you feel, Josh? What are your final thoughts and review?
I think I basically summed up everything I was gonna say. Like, I like the practical stuff. The animation stuff was pretty terrible. Um, the pacing, I like Jerry said, I wish they cut out like a half hour. That would have been great. I think like an hour 30 would have been perfect runtime for this movie. Um, I do like how you're following the characters. You kind of feel like you're with them, like you are the character. That's pretty cool. It's just this is just not really for me. Maybe I'll enjoy it next time I see it, but like I was like, to be honest, when I was watching this, I fell asleep like fucking 3 times
Oh
watching this
god.
movie. So it was a struggle for me. I think I was just super tired. So, but anyway, I would probably give this movie a 4.5. It's I think I gives it that extra. I wanted to give it a 3, but I gave it that extra 1.5 just because like the characters were pretty strong and like I liked some of the visuals and it's pretty creative and it's they're obviously trying. It's not like they're just doing this as a money cash grab kind of thing. So that's why it gets that extra 1.5.
That's more than we can say for a lot of other movies now. They cared
Yeah,
more in
that's very true.
2006 than 2022.
They
Right.
did.
Um,
Exactly.
for me, having watched this movie so many various times, I pick up on, little tidbits of things here and there. And definitely since, I've come on the podcast, both of you have helped open my eyes to notice different things that I might have overlooked or never thought about in a certain way. And I definitely don't get me wrong. I enjoy Sean Bean as an actor. If he was not in this, I think this would be a very strong female casted movie,
Yeah.
especially being like only females that do all the talking, all of the action, really just most of everything. And I also I also enjoy a lot of how the child actress gave us different contrasts between an innocent child and a very pissed off demon or devil, whichever you would like to prefer to call her. Um, Everything down to the camera angles and work, like Crispy said, I enjoyed so much. It's when I first watched it, I'm like, wow, I didn't see where the lady went. What just happened? She just kind of woo. But definitely since Josh has recommended movies that have a lot of good camera angles and work, I enjoyed especially how they do some of the zoom outs and the pans and just the sudden switches to show like, oh, this is a different perspective altogether. I enjoy way more than what I have previously. Definitely a budget of what they had and then how they doubled it in gross, I think shows how much a good director and script can make what you might think to be, oh, this movie's going to kind of suck and flop, be, I'm not going to call it a hidden gem because it's still a diamond in the rough. I think with, a proper budget and, actors and a screenplay, it could be something very fantastic, especially considering that, Silent Hill is one of the forerunners in horror games. I'm going to give this a solid 7. Silent Hill, while, 2006 wasn't a really good time for some movies, I definitely think this one, shined a light through the cracks that some people might not have hit.
Yeah, no, that's completely
I
fair.
agree.
I understand why people would like this movie. I totally get it. So like, don't make my rating deter anyone from watching this. I think it's like kind of like apples and oranges kind of thing. It's like whatever you get out of it.
I'm actually so surprised because at this time we were getting Resident Evil. We had this Silent Hill franchise kick up. I'm surprised they didn't try bringing. Remember the game called Fear?
Yes.
I'm surprised they didn't bring that to like the movies. Because
Oh,
Fear
just
would
like
actually
somebody's
be
going
fun.
to do it.
I think it's been a while. It's been a really long time. We haven't had a Fear game in like I think over 15 years. I think
It's
about.
been a decade. When did
I
Fear
remember
3 come out?
I remember this cover.
Yeah, it's been. We got 1, 2, and 3, and then that was it. And we're
The
finalized.
third one came out 2011.
So almost 15.
So it's
It's
just been
12
11.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still not bad.
So
Matt, I had one quick question for you. So since you watched, this is just completely unrelated to anything. So since you watched Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, and now Silent Hill, which would you say is the superior film? This is just out of general curiosity.
I would go with this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I hate Raccoon City. Raccoon City was just poorly written. Actor choices were poor. Graphics were here and there. It blimped in. Like at least we knew 2006 was like an era where if you paid you had to pay to get to where you wanted to with your effects, with your budgets. We knew where it wasn't like 100% really acquired in every movie yet. Now times every movie uses CGI, so it's not a hearsay source. It's more like it's not like it's just like here and there crap. It's more like it's more present. So you should have decent enough graphics to pass with this movie, Raccoon City. I think the only graphics I really liked with Raccoon City, with like creature wise, was the liquors. When they brought in the liquors, that was it. And there's like certain effect. It was just a bad fucking movie, dude. It was horrible. It was not good.
I was just generally curious to see which one.
It was just bad. I had a group of I had a group of 6 people, and we all came out of that movie saying, "What the fuck did we just watch?" That was not what
Didn't
we
that
thought it was
like
going
just
to be.
come out pretty recently?
It just
Didn't
came
that
out,
come
yeah.
I think it came out like a year
A
ago.
year ago. Yeah, no. Listen. Okay, listen. All right. So when so they dropped the news about the series we just watched and the episode we just watched and everything. And then out of nowhere they're like, "Oh, Raccoon City's coming out." And everyone's like, "Wait, hold on. Is this connected to this because it's Leon, or is it this?" And they kind of give you the more flippy floppy of like everyone thought it was gonna be a Leon story, and it wasn't the Leon story. It was the Claire stuff going on, and it was kind of like conflicting. And they kind of like manned. I don't know. I can't really explain it that much because I can't explain it well, but like that well without other people's opinions on this. But like, I feel like they just kind of like change roles with certain characters up a little bit, but they definitely slapped Leon with the dum dum stick because Leon wasn't 100%. He wasn't an idiot. He was the new kid on the block, but in this fucking game, in this movie, he did not know how to use a gun. He claimed to shoot somebody on accident on his last squad he was on in a different town in the movie. And I'm like, what? Leon shot somebody? I don't remember him shooting somebody in the game. But I remember them saying, oh, you accidentally shot somebody, didn't you? And he's always complaining and bitching and all this other stuff. I was waiting for Claire to freaking pistol whip him, punch him in the face, all kinds of shit. I was waiting. It was just getting to a point where it was just unbearable. But yeah, I'm never going to recommend that movie ever in this show.
I was just curious.
Please don't.
I won't. It's
Please.
bad.
So before we
really
close
bad.
out, whose picks is next? Matt, it's your picks.
Yep. So my picks are gonna be so this is a really new show that just came out. We are in how many episodes? We're this Saturday would be episode 9, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
So Jerry kind of knows my picks already. But so my short's gonna be episode. I'm gonna do this for Josh's sake. Episode 1 and 2 of Spy Family. It's a brand new anime that just came out. It's based in a 1950s era spy scenario with some supernatural-ish kind of like set up with a certain character. And sci-fi more stuff and all that stuff. With a certain character, and they're in like kind of like I think they're in like Germany, but they're in like a made-up country actually for the show base. But it's like the
It's
style is
definitely
like
German inspired.
it's German base expired.
Okay.
So Spy Family, and Josh, you can find that on Crunchyroll. I'll let you know my stuff so you can watch it.
It's also on Hulu.
Is it on Hulu? I
It's
didn't know
on
it was on Hulu. Is it caught? Well, it should be caught up with the dubbing, right?
I have not checked recently. I can also check.
Crunchyroll see if it has dubbing for you, Josh. Then the actual movie, it's gonna be The Kingsman, The Secret Service.
Okay.
So I was gonna just say The Kingsman, but there's 2 movies now, and everyone's just gonna be like, which one?
Is this the first one?
This is the first one.
The first one?
Okay.
This is the first one because the first one has the same. It's gonna have this. I would say the same vibes as the show. The second one's more like, to me, they kind of like, kind of made it more up to date now instead of feeling like an older time spy movie.
Okay. All right. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Spy Family or Kingsman: The Secret Service, make sure you watch it before the next episode.
Yeah. Before we get into the outro, I just wanted to mention the Evil Dead game. I'm gonna get it this week. So if you guys want to get it, we could play next week sometime.
I'm probably gonna get my next paycheck.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do that this week. And if you guys want, maybe we could do a live stream or something of that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. And like I think we should do it fresh too, like right when we first start to play it, so we don't know what the fuck to expect kind of thing.
Okay.
Also, we're gonna have audio for the podcast going on streaming services like Spotify and whatever. So it's gonna be a slow process, but we're gonna start putting the audio clips on these podcast streaming services. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
Make sure you click the plus sign, whatever the hell else on the podcast places, and follow us when it drops.
Yeah. Yeah. And leave comment or whatever. Give us
slam that like
Matt a
button.
kiss. Slam that like button, give that a kiss. And plus the Superman radio show idea, we just got to figure out logistics of that and like when we're gonna do that. But that's still something I still wanted. That
I'm
we're
also
gonna
down for that.
Are we still looking for a lead actress in this radio
Yeah,
show?
well, we haven't even started to look.
I know.
So, yeah.
We are looking.
It's all projects in the future, baby. Projects in the
yeah, so
future.
I'm just throwing all
Back
that
to the
out there
future.
now. Yeah.
Don't you go anywhere, you. Don't you go anywhere.
Jerry's
You
in
future, Jerry the future.
2085. All right, we're good.
Oh.
That's it.
All right, everybody. 3, 2, 1. This is Jerry guiding you all with Green Lantern's light, and
I am Superman's pal Matt, and
I'm Josh from Metropolis, sending you off up and away until next BatYard's finest episode.
we're becoming super pals, one episode at a time.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
All right, goodbye, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night. Bye.